Hey there, Halloweenies! Have you ever been scared all throughout a movie, jumping at every twist and turn, hiding behind blankets and pillows, using your boyfriend as a human shield? No? Just me? Okay. But anyway, have you ever watched a scary movie that was really good all the way up until the end? Then it sizzles out like a sad piece of turkey bacon? Well, I certainly have. Today we are going to look at 5 scary movies that were scary all the way up until the end. Before we get started, there will be spoilers in this video, so if you desperately want to watch these movies without the ending spoiled, pop this video in your to-be-watched list and go binge watch some movies. Number 5. Darkness Falls. Okay, so I saw this movie when I was in middle school and was terrified. The basic premise is about a woman that would give the village children rewards if they brought her their teeth. These kids start to go missing. The village blames the woman and they burn her at the stake. Now she serves as a tooth fairy with a twist. You can't look at her or she will kill you. Our main character witnesses her kill his mother when he was a child. He sees her but has avoided her wrath for over a decade. Now he's trying to help an old friend whose younger brother is in the same situation. There is some really great imagery in the movie, and for younger viewers it is a spectacular introduction into the horror film industry. The end, though, was a pretty big disappointment. The main characters flee to the lighthouse and have their final battle. The main protagonist lights himself on fire to get rid of the tooth fairy, but still survives. As an adult, I really dislike the ending. A small child loses their tooth, and we see their mother placing a coin under the pillow to signify that the monster is gone. I would much rather have seen her survive and still be lurking. Number 4. Bird Box. This movie was pretty popular for a time. However, watching it, I was constantly waiting for something that was terrifying. And it never happened. This movie takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where invaders cause people to commit suicide when they see them. So for most of the film, the cast is blindfolded. By the end of the film, they arrive at a safe location that used to be the school for the blind. Therefore, no one can see the monsters and they're safe. What I would have done to enhance the horror in the film is to show the viewer what the characters cannot see. We never get to see the monsters. We don't get to experience any of the terror that they bring. I wanted it to be good, and sadly, I remained waiting all the way through the credits with no satisfaction for the plot to get any better. Number 3. The Babadook. The Babadook is a psychological thriller that was honestly pretty good up until the end, hence why it's on this list. We start out the film with a young couple and the wife is in labor. Her husband tragically dies in a car accident on the way to the hospital. We see her raising her son as a single mother. He is difficult to deal with and causes a lot of problems. He soon becomes obsessed with a creature called Mr. Babadook. There's a pop-up book that the mother reads. It shows images of her killing her dog, her son, and then herself. She's so freaked out and becomes more and more reclusive. Up to this point, it is really good, creepy and unsettling, but then she confronts the Babadook and basically keeps it like a pet in the basement. What a letdown. It would have been way better if the Babadook would have succeeded in its quest to drive the family crazy or something a bit scarier than being leashed in the basement eating a bowl of worms. Number 2. Hereditary. I really love psychological thrillers. They always leave your heart racing. In Hereditary, there are so many horrifying things that happen right from the beginning. I was on board the whole way until like the last 10 minutes. It begins with a family who, of course, have some secrets and some issues. The grandmother, who wasn't allowed to be a part of the older son's life, but was a large part of the younger daughter's life, has died, and the family is grieving. The son goes to a party and takes his sister, who is deathly allergic to nuts. She eats a piece of cake that has walnuts in it, and on the way to the hospital, her brother swerves to avoid hitting a deer and accidentally decapitates his sister. In his shock and horror, he goes home, leaving her body in the car for his mother to find in the morning. The film then goes into the disturbing coping of grief the family endures. The mother resenting her son racked with guilt, and the father trying to hold everyone together. Such a great film until the end, when it's found out that there is a god who was summoned into the spirit of the daughter that is now possessing everyone to try and find a suitable body, which turns out to be the son. Meh. It would have been better without the god bit at the end. Watching the family struggle was sad and scary enough. Number 1. Eli. Okay, not the book of Eli, just Eli. This movie stars, you guessed it, Eli. He's a child that has a very rare condition. When he's outside of his contained area, he suffers severe and life-threatening allergic reactions. His parents, who are seeking a cure, take him to a special doctor. The facility is specially decontaminated, so Eli doesn't have to wear his protective gear inside the house. He undergoes unique treatment that is extremely painful. He begins seeing ghosts and specters in the house. He makes a friend through the window of a girl who says none of the patients there ever make it out. He soon discovers that the head nurse is killing the patients. This would have been way better to roll with this storyline, but the ending is where the plot takes a sudden left turn and heads pedal to the metal towards the cliff of a bad movie. Turns out the mom wanted to have a child so badly she made a deal with the devil, and little Eli is actually the son of Satan. His reactions were simply his demonic power manifesting. It ends with Eli killing nearly everyone except his mother and the girl from the outside, who shockingly turns out to be a child of Satan as well. Then they drive off into the sunset to go meet their dear old devil dad. What did you think of these movies? Did you like the endings, or did you think that they were as bad as I did? Do you think there are worse movies with bad endings? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Pupcorn. Toodles!